Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CWR Clash of Randoms podcast with your host, JKD, with my co-host.
Hey, the DLC, the LOVE, Doctor of Love, need to take a throat lozenge because I just messed it up. But hey, we want you to subscribe, give us a like, hey, and comment on what we're talking about today. We're giving reviews and stuff on NXT and AEW. We might take a look back at Raw and a little bit of SmackDown tonight.
Gotcha. We technically are because, well, we're not gonna go over Raw and SmackDown, but we're gonna talk about our predictions and see if it came true or not between Raw and SmackDown. Before we get to NXT AEW, let's go ahead and go through those predictions. Now, we did say, Survivor Series. We mainly talked about the champion, but since we're only gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. Now, we said Monday Night Raw for Drew McIntyre. We did say well, I remember I said like the next contender could be Sheamus, as most people might rumor,
Right, I really thought it was going to be Sheamus.
or it could be the phenomenal, as I also said, AJ Styles. And now we see that there's a triple threat match. They'll well tonight, this past Monday, not on Raw, there was three one-on-one matches after the fact that Braun Strowman, got suspended apparently. And there were three one-on-one matches, and the winner of those matches led to a triple threat match next week, which will be Matt Riddle. Well, my bad, not Riddle, Matt Riddle. Riddle, which he beat Sheamus.
And that
Keith
was a very aggressive match, very aggressive.
Keith Lee taking on U.S. champion Bobby Lashley, which Keith Lee won by disqualification, and AJ Styles beating Randy Orton, which lead to Riddle, Lee, and Styles. Now, like I said, I'm going with Styles on this one. I think Keith Lee and Riddle. I think they have more to go for. As far as I'm concerned with Keith Lee, let's go ahead and move on to the United States champion.
Yeah,
We
you
both said
said, yeah,
actually. We
yeah.
said Keith Lee could be the next going for that U.S. champion, man. And
And I
I'm
think
looking
it'll be a
forward to it.
perfect setup. This match was a perfect setup for it. They had Monday to kind of get folks kind of lips wet for it, and I think it's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah. So as we said, obviously, I believe next week the triple threat, man. I'm pretty sure. I think I speak for him saying, that I think Keith Lee definitely not gonna win, only because we think Lash is gonna jump Keith Lee, costing the match, which now leads to them going for the U.S. Championship. As far as the Raw Women's Champion, my plan so far has come to somewhat. My idea came somewhat to fruition as we see that Oscar is now going towards the women's tag team champions. As Lana might take vengeance on them. Also, this could lead to a point to where maybe this could probably be for the tag team champions, and not for a Raw Women's title match.
But if she does defend the world title, I mean the Raw title, it's gonna be against Shayna Baszler. 'Cause I got a feeling that Lana's gonna be involved in some kind of tables match with Nia Jax. Either it's gonna be a one-on-one table match, or like you said, a tag team with her and Oscar against Baszler and
Jax.
Jax.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be some kind of table match at TLC.
So either way, we were both right. Whether for the women's side of thing for Raw, you know, Lana could go for the women's tag team titles. Like Baszler, Oscar might defend her Raw women's champion against them. Maybe I don't know. We'll see more on that as we go ahead and move to the tag team champions, which obviously came as we pretty much expected. At least for your case, not really, considering we both did say the Hurt Business could be the next challengers. However, in your case, the Hurt Business still have not gained the tag team champions
No, they haven't. And I'm very
in
upset by it.
two title matches, let
But
alone.
some WWE doesn't have like a lot of tag teams on the main roster, so you're gonna see the same tag team match over and over and over again. So look for the Hurt Business and the New Day to go at it again at TLC. Watch what I tell you.
Yeah. Anything else that happened on Raw was pretty much we saw the friendship fraud from the Firelight Funhouse, which got destroyed so quickly from how much we met him. As we saw Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross, which obviously Nikki Cross has not learned a lesson, and oldest trick in the book lost to Alexa Bliss. Let alone that is it. As we move on to SmackDown's champion, we did say, well, in the Universal Champion, I did say we both said that Daniel Bryan's probably be the next contender, considering that main event Jay, who's actually going through a main event turnover now, starting losing now. We thought that Daniel Bryan's going for the Universal Championship, but it seems like that we have a new contender on our hands as Kevin Owens is set to be the next
Right.
contender for the United
I did
Champion.
not see that because they haven't set Owens up well enough to have a title, contendership run. But they did make him look very good at Survivor Series.
Yeah. But speaking of Daniel Bryan, let's go ahead and move on. As we saw that Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn went at it in a one-on-one matchup. Um, obviously it wasn't for the Intercontinental Champion. It was just a one-on-one matchup. Obviously, the match ended with a 10 count with Sami Zayn running out the ring, and during the 10 count, Sami Zayn made it back before Daniel Bryan could. Well, let alone that Jey Uso was the one who attacked Daniel Bryan, which led to the Kevin Owens matchup later on. However, we did see later that Apollo Crews and Big E was approached by Sami Zayn as Apollo Crews wanted to say something, as Big E just told him, hold up, as Big E made his claim that he probably will be the next contender for the Intercontinental Champion,
Oh, really?
which you actually were right about that one actually.
Yeah.
So we could see Big E versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Champion in the near future.
So I think, so it's still gonna be pretty much more Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan.
Probably not. They're probably well yeah. That's gonna happen maybe. They're probably gonna be a chairs match for all we know, considering that Jey Uso did use a steel chair,
Oh yeah, it's a chairs match.
against
Yeah.
Otis and Daniel Bryan. So we don't know. Well we know it's gonna be probably a chairs match with Jey Uso in it, but also let's go ahead and move on to the SmackDown women's side of things. We did see Carmella made a promo by saying how she was fabulous. She was from Staten Island and all that stuff, and also she got caught up with what the people wanted. 7-second dance breaks and stuff like that. Doing all this, do all that, but yet she forgot herself of being, Miss the first ever Miss Money in the Bank, which she reminded she wanted the first two ladder matches for that time. She became the SmackDown Women's Champion, beating Oscar twice, beating Charlotte twice. And yet here comes Sasha Banks, came in with the attack, putting herself on notice, knowing that she is still on top of the division, and that Carmella can bank on that one. So maybe Carmella and Sasha is obviously going to happen at TLC. And as far as the tag team titles, Street Profits versus Ziggler and Rude, man, it was a pretty good match, despite the fact they have it way too much. But overall, Ziggler and Rude got the win. It's so obvious considering how many tag teams they have in this division. I mean, for all we know, Raw got like what
Right,
two,
two or three. They don't even have three.
probably two, as like SmackDown has three, which really tells you how sad the tag team division is really now.
Right, and that's the reason why I've been a proponent for the last few weeks of just combining those two titles. And since we're in the coronavirus era, so to speak, of wrestling, you might well combine those two titles so you can at least have at least 5 to 6 contenders for the tag titles instead of two on one brand and three on the other. I mean, like there's not even two contenders on Raw. It's just a hurt business.
Yeah, yeah, but with
Oh,
that,
and I guess technically you could say retribution.
like it's so bad the fact that man, like NXT has more tag teams than Raw and SmackDown does to cut
Together.
together.
Yeah.
Like I said, as far as also we know on SmackDown, we do know your girl Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, beat Natalia, which we believe that the next for Bianca Belair was next for her is the fact that she is going to be taking on the longest SmackDown Women's Champ in history, Bayley.
Right. And it's good that she's going against Bailey so she can get that rub, going against somebody with some experience and stuff like that. And I see I see her getting the win over
Yeah.
Bailey.
As also we did see King Corbin, who was supposed to take orders on that night, however, did not have him due to the fact Jey Uso was attacked. It led to King Corbin taking on Murphy, along with the Mysterio family being around, which Murphy got the win over the fact that Dominic actually moved the man's feet, which technically it was cheating. However, next week it will be King Corbin taking on Murphy again. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the Wednesday Night Wars. And I know you might have something to say about AEW, especially the fact that their winter is coming. Special is coming next week, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, at
This
least it's
week.
yeah. Let's go talk about AEW though.
You wanna go AEW first?
Let's
Let's
go.
go to
Let's go ahead.
AEW then.
Now let's go ahead and talk about some AEW Dynamite. Now I did say this a long time ago. We were just listening to a video about what's the difference between AEW and WWE, man. I'm it makes sense actually. But let's go ahead and start with AEW as we get to see Hangman Page Hangman Adam Page versus, I mean, your guy from Dark Order,
Yeah, John Silver, that's my boy. He's so short though,
but
and
muscular though. I ain't gonna lie for a short man.
yeah, big beef.
I like the fact, man. He's like, man, he's a small guy. He still got a lot of confidence in himself. I feel like I see him as a really big star. Even
And
even if he was gone from Dark Order, I think I can see him as a future star
I tell you
also.
what, it will work if Dark Order was a half. It ain't got to be a completely dominant team. They could be a halfway dominant team, and have you know, um, John Silver being the underdog flunky of the group, and then John Silver break out from the group from there.
Yeah,
But the way they got it, the whole group is a joke. Nobody takes them serious. So that doesn't make John Silver's character seem as strong if the group was a little bit more dominant. But Hangman Page, actually, this match went on too long. Hangman Page had no business wrestling that long as a main eventer or a
yeah.
semi-main eventer against John Silver.
But it was a really good
It
opener
was
to
a
the
good
match
match
though.
though, but every match don't have to be a 5-star match.
I mean, with the end of the match, man, Page hit two Largo bombs on Silver along with adding a buckshot lariat for the win, which I actually
Hmm.
give that one a B plus actually. John Silver, Adam Page, that was a good
Yeah, that's
opener.
really, really, very, very good match.
But let's talk about your guy, man. This is the man you've been talking about. He should join Team Taz. Your boy, not Will Hobbs, but Powerhouse Hobbs, taking on the Jabroni Lee Johnson, which no said, man. Powerhouse Hobbs, man. My boy came in with the old school Taz outfit too, man. Like, bro, my boy came in dressing like Taz, man, showing his real true loyalty to the team. As far as I'm concerned, I already know Powerhouse Hobbs is gonna be a future. He's gonna have a huge future in AEW. I know he's gonna
Yeah.
be at least the next
Well,
contender.
I'm gonna tell you, his future may not be in WWE. I mean, in AEW,
I mean,
because he's so young that somebody else might snatch him up. I mean, New Japan may snatch him up. He might get snatched up by WWE. You
I mean,
know,
they are still Ben Carter, so
I mean, like, he's so young right now. Now that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he have any kind of desire to go elsewhere, but he's so young, he might want to just go somewhere else one day.
I mean, I don't know, man. He probably gonna get to the TNC title before Ricky Starks, maybe. I mean, shoot. But let's go ahead and move on. Actually, obviously, along with the promo that Taz giving,
Oh, he killed that dude too.
got him, man. I believe all that, that was an A. But Taz giving that promo too, man, showing that, man, the LCW champion has more respect to it. It needs to be just like the TNT champion. Where is that at?
Not really.
I believe it should have more respect to it, man. Bring more respect to a championship, man. Don't bring a title back and then like not try
It
to.
would have worked if like they had been keeping him. He gave it to Brian Cage a little bit too fast. Let's say he had that match with Moxley and it ended the same way, and then he would have been like, "F it, I never gave up," and F the world. I'm giving him the FTW title because he's the real champion because he never gave up. I'm the one who threw in the towel. He deserves this title right here. Then it would have made it more relevant.
Well, either way, man, we don't know what's gonna happen. However, let's go and talk about get some tag team action. The first ever tag team matchup for the night, which I think this episode is like the least amount of tag team match you've seen.
Yeah,
You got Top Flight, a young tag team with two brothers taking on the bro, the Vanish Hybrid too, because you don't really see them that much on.
TH2.
You really don't see them that much either. For one thing,
They trying to say, oh, they on dark all the time. So
exactly. Obviously they made their they made their thing quite known. Pretty much that what's the word I'm
their
looking
attention
for?
quite known because they
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
tag
That's what I'm
team.
trying to say. Yeah,
Look,
intention,
I say attentions. Intentions
intentions.
quite
Yeah,
known.
they're trying to let the intentions quite known that they want to be the next contender. They want the AEW tag team title from the Young Bucks.
All right, guys, go back to AAA. You're not getting it.
It's all over, man. But either way, man, Hybrid two.
It was too much flipping and too much. I give it a D. It was too much.
But what you expect from a team who actually does the type of stuff though?
Yeah,
Because like
but
you got to think about all like, and then you just watch Top Flight. You just seeing Top Flight.
you got to slow it down. It was just too much. Sometimes it can be too much or something. It was just too much of.
I give it a C plus.
I give it a D. D plus.
It was okay matchup. Good storytelling matchup. But let's talk about the next tag team match. SCU's Christopher Daniels and Frank Kazarian taking on Chris Jericho and Jay Hager of the Inner Circle. Now this was the first time this was the first time the Inner Circle competed since they added Wardlow and MJF. So seeing this matchup, there was a really good matchup actually between the two, especially the fact, I like the fact they did add MJF and then use the ring to get the win. So like that now, and also now that Jericho Hager won, and now Frank Kazarian, you know, man, he just popped MJF right in the mouth, man, out of nowhere, man. All of a sudden, man, like they're getting beat down. All of a sudden, now you got your boy back,
Scorpio Sky.
coming back, Scorpio Sky coming back. And now it makes you wonder, like, is Scorpio Sky still in that rivalry with Sean Spears or what? Like,
Well,
is
he
he?
lost the rivalry, really, man.
Huh? Yeah, I mean, yeah. But
Yeah, so that's pretty
but
much
either way, Jericho challenged Frankie Kazarian for the first time ever. We get to see Frank Kazarian and Chris Jericho at a Winter is Coming, and I'm looking forward to see how that's gonna go down.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be actually a good match.
I actually give this match a B actually. So
Yeah, it was a good match.
let's talk about the AEW World Championship match contract signing between the
And
champion John Moxley and the
and,
challenger.
and I'm gonna go ahead and go on the line right now. I believe I know who knocked Moxley out. I'm gonna go on the line and say it was Kenta.
Okay, see, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else about it, only because, well, let's go ahead and get to the point though. We saw Eddie Kingston made his promo about going and after Ray Phoenix and Pac, as he like to call him. Obviously Moxley walked up to him. You know, obviously Eddie Kingston was never gonna be the guy who did it because Moxley will. I mean, first of all, Kingston will actually admit that he beat down somebody, and Procy will beat them down in front of a camera to show how tough he is.
Right, he'll always
Um,
do his stuff in front of people.
so it makes most people think that Kenny Omega was the one who did it. Obviously, for one thing, I gotta say Kenny Omega. I mean, thank God for the fact they had Moxley beat him down because like the ramp was like probably like 3 inches, like maybe like 3 feet wide probably from the ring. So I mean, like there's no need to have a long entrance, bro, from that much, bro. Like for real.
But the only thing I had to say is it was too the speech Moxley gave was too long because it made Omega had to sell the DDT the attitude adjuster the paradigm shift my bad the paradigm shift for like a long time because his speech was like what about 5 minutes. He had to lay down there and sell it. That's a long time to lay down and sell.
Either way, man. Look, at the end, Moxley said, "Win, lose, draw. Winner is coming for you, Kenny. Steady your aim and take your shot because you only get one."
But I believe Kenta is the one that did it. I believe Kenny Omega might have had something to do with recruiting him over to do it. But Kenta is the one who attacked him. That's what I believe.
Uh, so for those so for those who don't know who Kenta is, he was former wrestler, WWE wrestler. Uh, it's Hideo
Hideo Itami.
Itami. Obviously he did give a warning to John Moxley actually from New Japan, so you gotta check that one out.
Right. And another thing, Moxley does hold the IWGP United States title over there in New Japan.
Still,
And so they're like, hey man, give me the belt.
yeah,
So
but overall, I like the A plus, man. I ain't gonna lie. Despite the fact what he said, I like the promo A plus to me. But let's go ahead and talk about Hikaru Shida defending her AEW Women's Champion against Anna Jay. And obviously, I'm not even gonna go through the whole match besides the fact that Anna Jay lost. After the fact she tried to cheat, having Tay Conti trying to help her out. However, it is no surprise that Anna Jay was gonna lose anyway, because there's no way somebody like her is gonna win the title with little experience, to be honest. However, that's not the true story of this match. At the end of the match, Hikaru Shida was frightened when we saw the return of Abaddon, who came back from her injury, and now she is looking to take that title away from Hikaru Shida, which I'm really happy because I'm believe Abaddon's like
right.
the best character I've ever seen for AEW so far, really.
And let me say this. Hikaru Shida last two finishes of her matches been really, really sloppy, man. They were sloppy. Then the one against Nyla Rose was really sloppy. And then, all right, you got an ongoing storyline with Brandy Rose, and you supposed to be talking about Shaq. You haven't talked about that this week, and hadn't let Brandy Rose talk this week about anything that happened to her. I think it was a problem with you shouldn't have brought Jade Cargill into this thing, and no, she didn't have any kind of experience. She's not even through with her wrestling training, which means she doesn't know how to speak on the mic that well.
Actually, her promo was pretty good. Actually,
It was okay,
having John Silver on it, but however, Abaddon, I was successful site on the AEW Women's Champion. But let's go ahead and move on to the last tag team match of the night and the main event as we see Pac and Ray Phoenix of the Death Triangle taking on the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny on the side, along with Eddie Kingston on commentary. This was a phenomenal matchup, obviously. We remember that Pac actually beat the Blade last week, and obviously that was when Penta El Cerro and helped him out. There was a pretty good matchup until towards the end. Obviously, Eddie Kingston decided to get involved, beating down Pac, Ray Phoenix, and Penta El Cerro, showing that we're the good guys. We're the guys. We're the best thing going on. Pretty much same thing. Team Titanium. They're the best thing going on for AEW. You've been gone for 8 months. Things have changed around here. I'm here now, Eddie Kingston. That's pretty much. So I can see in the near future somewhere, at least the next AEW pay per view, I see the Death Triangle take on Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade.
but somebody came back who hadn't been on there in a while.
Of course,
Lance Archer.
Lance Archer.
Yeah,
No,
and
Lance Archer.
I said Lance.
Lance Archer.
I'm thinking about lunch because I'm hungry. I hadn't eaten today, but Lance Archer.
Yeah, either way, Lance Archer came in. Obviously, it's quite aware that obviously Eddie Kingston was complaining about the fact that he never, you know, had both feet on the floor because technically he was caught by the Butcher and the Blade, but like his feet never hit the floor, but the ring belled anyway. So Lance Archer won the matchup, which actually sucks the fact he still never got his AEW World Title shot actually. So with that, I know that at some point in the future it's gonna be Lance Archer taking on Eddie Kingston, as we believe some point in the future is gonna be the Death Triangle taking on the Butcher, the Blade, and Eddie Kingston also.
Right.
But from Dynamite to NXT, let's see what happened on the NXT brand. Let's go ahead and talk about. Let's go ahead and give a shout out. Let's go ahead and talk about Ember Moon taking on Candice LeRae with Indy Hartwell. Now, this was a phenomenal matchup for the first time between these two on NXT. This match was pretty good as we get to see that Dakota Kai and Raiden Gonzalez got involved, leading up to where obviously Raiden Gonzalez and Dakota Kai joined the team. Now, with this, LeRae did get the win on Ember Moon by pinfall. As we saw Toni Storm making her return, helping out Ember Moon, as Toni Storm turned on Ember Moon by attacking her, and yet she set her sights to join Candice LeRae team for War Game against Team Shotzi. As I give this match
Hey,
a B.
I gotta ask you a question. Why her body so thick and fine like that, but she ain't got no behind? Talking
Kyle
about Tony
O'Reilly, the
Storm.
man, Kyle O'Reilly. Let's talk about Kyle O'Reilly. Want to
All right.
fight Pete Dunne.
Talking about how fine Colorado is?
Kyle O'Reilly wants an opportunity to fight Pete Dunne.
All right.
Obviously, the Kings of NXT, as they say, obviously Pat McAfee wasn't around as well. We don't know. We can't say it was we can't say, but obviously Pat McAfee did say he's not around. However, they used Pete Dunne as a guy to win to represent their team
Mm-hmm.
for the no for the advantage of War Games. As Kyle O'Reilly said, he needs this match. He wants to get back at Pete Dunne after the fact that Pete Dunne turned on him to defend Undisputed Era's honor. With that leads us to the matchup later. As we move on to our next match, we see Timothy Thatcher.
Against Kushida.
Now, this was an excellent
Man,
catch as catch can wrestling, or
man.
a catch as catch can wrestling. As we saw Tommaso Ciampa also sitting ringside, just sitting there, just watching his move. And all of a sudden, man, once Timothy Thatcher had Kushida in his grasp at the end of the match, Tommaso Ciampa gave a huge distraction, which Timothy Thatcher, for a person who say always stay focused, he was not focused in his matchup against Kushida, as Kushida got the win over Tim Thatcher.
And I think that was a bad move by NXT WWE. I think you need that Thatcher to look very, very strong going into a match against Ciampa. I know they still gave him an out, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. Either way, let's talk about the
Match still
next.
gets an 8 though.
Yeah. But next segment, we're going to talk about the Kevin Owens show for the first time being part of NXT, as we had the Kevin Owens show with the guest NXT North American Champion Leon Ruff. Man, what a great day for blacks. You know, man. You know, got an NXT North, a third of a black North American champion.
Yeah, and I actually liked the segment. I thought the segment was kind of. A lot of folks said they didn't like it on the internet. I thought the segment was kind of funny. It made fun about how WWE is about when you say somebody's name, they come out. Then all of a sudden, the general manager gonna come out and make the match. Stuff like
I did
that.
like that actually, but obviously Johnny Gargano and the Damian Priest came out, and obviously the match was made at Triple Threat match between Ruff, Gargano, and Priest at Takeover War Games. Well, shoot, part four pretty much for the North American champion.
Can you? But you know what I can see in this match? I can see this like the time when X Pac went against Kane and Big Show, and like you were thinking like Kane or either Big Show were gonna win, but X Pac ended up winning the match. You
Like
know,
crazy things have happened, man. I'm liking this. The fact Leon Ruff is actually like, I don't know, but I just feel like Gargano might
you
win
know
this
what?
match.
If he had just a look, if he had like 15, 20 more
Oh my
pounds
god,
on him, man,
this man, still talking about this.
this dude, man, he got some fire about him, man. He got something about him, man, that make you want to like, man, this the man.
I mean, you see his interest, man. You see that man, like man, he roughing it up a little bit, man. A little too rough, but let's talk about your boy Cameron Grimes going straight to the moon, taking on Jake Atlas.
It's a just a regular formulaic match between, usual Jake Atlas match. You know,
Yeah, obviously, it's pretty obvious that Cameron Grimes gonna get the win over over Atlas, but obviously that wasn't the end for Dexter Loomis and Cameron Grimes. But we see Dexter Loomis making his return with the same blindfold from last week. With that, Regal told Grimes that backstage that they will have a strap match at NXT Takeover War Games.
oh man, that should be good.
Yeah. As we also talk about Rhea Ripley saying what's next for her, as most people suspect her to go to the main roster or leave NXT, as Candice Ray pretty much interrupted her with the point said maybe or no. Candice Ray pretty much came out, beat Rhea Ripley down along with beating Io Shirai down, also showing Io Shirai, which led to Team Candice Ray, which consists of Lorray and Dakota Kai, Rena Gonzalez, your girl, Pink Mama Nicole, along with Tony Storm. However, now we get to see who's probably gonna be on Team Shotzi, and we probably believe that's gonna be Emma
Yeah, MMO Shotzi.
NXT.
I'm just naming. You just said
Because I said Team Shotzi is
MMO Shotzi.
okay,
Um,
along with NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai,
Shirai.
along with Rhea Ripley.
So that's just four.
Yeah,
That's what it's for.
it's four
Okay,
and four.
okay then. I'm hungry, man.
He's so used to the old school war games, probably,
No, it was for a whole old school war game.
but man, let's talk about
I'm
the
just
fact.
hungry.
Let's talk about one of the biggest man. Let's talk about the return, man. Man, let's talk, well before we get to that point. Let's talk about Xia Li and Boa, man. What is going on with these two?
Man, I
Though?
don't even want to talk. Man, I don't even know.
I think this could lead us to something real big, man, for 2021, man. Like this could be huge, probably.
I've been wanting Xia Li character to step up a little bit, but I ain't know they were gonna do something like this. This some kind of like kung fu stuff.
So you think stereotypical like they did
Yeah,
Texas out?
that's what I'm thinking. It's gonna be some ancient kung fu stuff.
Sure, this could be better than the Ninja stuff, Ninja comedy they got going
Oh
on.
Lord.
It could be better than the Ninja comedy stuff they got going on. But either way, we don't know about that. But let's talk about one of the greatest acts in the NXT UK making a return, man. Let's talk
Oh
about
yeah.
man GYV, man, James Drake, Zach Gibson interrupting Ever Rise's tag team match, attacking them. Grizzly Young Veterans made their return,
I
and they
love it. I love
and
it.
they set their sight, and they're going to be the most dominant tag team. Not only just they were in NXT UK, but they're going to be the most dominant tag team in NXT history. And they claim they're going to be the greatest tag team in WWE history, probably. Which I give that whole segment a B.
I think I
Cause
would
like,
too.
I'm sorry, man. No one does not want to see Ever Rise match, man. Like, oh, Ever Rise not bad, but
But Everrise has been around a long time. A lot of folks don't know that. On
yeah,
the Canadian circuit, then they had a little few moments with Ring of Honor during the early, and I'm not talking about during recent years. I'm talking about during the early days of Ring of Honor, and so they've been around for a good while.
Good while. You know, it's nothing wrong with them. I just gotta see more than
They're
like,
not a bad tag team actually on the indie circuit and
yeah.
Ring of Honor.
I just gotta see more like their, story. I just need more like how you like retribution and stuff like that. They already ruined them. But let's talk about this War Games Advanced Ladder match between Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. Now this was the match right here. Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne. I mean, if it was just as great as the first time they have encountered with each other, you can tell you gotta watch that matchup. Also, man, you also gotta watch that first time encountering each other when it was Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne for the UK champion years back. But either way, this match was just as good as the first time. And obviously, with this time, once again, Pete Dunne got the win, which makes this the first time, honestly, the era losing the advantage match, as they were known to win the advantage match every year.
Right. You know the bad guys always win the advantage match. It
Yep.
always be that way on wrestling.
However, well, especially for the first time, however, the good guys mainly win. However, bad guys can win, but mainly it's a team who needs more momentum. So obviously Pete don't win, which means as the time goes out, it will be someone from Pat McAfee's crew, come out, first pretty much out the cage. With that, that is NXT. As with that, we talked about AEW and we gave our predictions about TLC a little bit as we cover Raw and SmackDown. With that, I'm gonna leave my host with the outro. MCMIZ?
Hey,
MCMIKE, I'm gonna say.
hey, subscribe, give us some love. Hey, give us some comments, a question on anything that you want to talk about. Did you agree on some of the things? Hey, click that button, click that like button, and subscribe. Hey, we're gonna go ahead, give you peace, love, and joy. Hey, we saying bye, keep it tight.